Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking some mixed martial arts with a bunch of mixed martial arts junkies, man. It's been a lot of fun. This segment is brought to you by Tim Goodwin Chiropractic, located next door to Treehouse Fitness Center in Draper on 12300 South. Now, I also want to talk really quickly about a guy that Dr. Tim referred me to, Dr. Ted Kyle over at Salt Lake MRI. He did an MRI on my shoulder a couple weeks ago, and while the prognosis was not exactly what we were hoping for, he really took the time, first of all, to explain to me the injury, and then kind of laid out what my options are, and I was really impressed with this guy. First of all, he's an athlete too, and he was phenomenal.
He's a great guy to work with. I mean, we just had Josh over there on Tuesday. I mean, a phone call, he slips all our people in. You know, I can't say enough good things about Dr. Ted Kyle because he sits down with my athletes and it really goes through it and explains it and takes the time. And hats off to him, man, because he's definitely taking care of some of the best athletes. I know we sent Tandy over there, and we've had a lot of great people have great experience. So Salt Lake MRI, man, thumbs up to you.
It's funny you say that though, because he goes, does he just have a bunch of maniacs in his place? Because that's all he sends me over here, and I'm going to tell you, you have old ladies, you have a little bit of everything in there, and you know, the real interesting thing here is that you're helping Josh Berkman, a world-class athlete, get through an injury, and you're helping a fat guy that's 44 years old that's trying to get through an injury. So it's not just super class athletes. I mean, you really kind of have a well-rounded clientele.
For sure, you know. I mean, you know, we see babies, we see all different things. My background's athletic training, and really where I like the other day, I think I saw more fighters in that gym and training and athletes than anything, and that is my forte. But for anybody out there that wants body work done, you know, we do it all. But the interesting thing about body work is like with Josh. When I first met Josh, he came from Vegas, not talking, hey, I don't know if I'm going to fight anymore. And the key ingredient we found with him is his nervous system is shut down. You know, as chiropractors, we heard this, and the nervous system runs the show, you know, and a lot of people say, well, what do? You know, why are you different? And my whole focus is getting those nerves running the show. And what I mean by that is you're vacuuming your floor, right? And all of a sudden the vacuum stops. Everyone knows, wait, did it come unplugged? Go plug it back in. There's some electricity. But when I talk that language to people off the street or the listeners right now, electricity, what are they talking about? Impulses flow down the brain to the different muscles, okay? So if you strain something, you get hurt, everyone's trying to address the muscle. They're going to ice it. They're going to stretch it. They're going to rub on it. My first thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to plug it back in. I want to make sure that brain and that muscle are talking. I think that's the biggest success we've had with Josh. If I knew he was this good sitting here Friday, I wouldn't have kept him off the plane. I mean, Tuesday, his knee was big. I mean, as big as I saw it, I immediately said, we need to go get an MRI. I think it's swollen up.
And I couldn't walk.
That's kind of a good clue.
Yeah,
I'm not even a doctor, and I would have figured that out.
And to see where that knee is today, I mean, 4 or 5 days later, I mean, in the beginning of next week, Josh is training again, you know. And
not to mention when I went to see him, you know, I'm like, my knees hurt, but I think it's tightened up my ankle, and my left hip is hurting, and now my right shoulder. And as soon as he did this laser treatment on me, you know, it feels like you get a full body massage. Yeah. And I was like, Tim, give me a hug. You know, I leave there feeling lighter and better.
Well, you know, but Josh sitting here is a perfect example of what we said with what do you say, the Dr. Goodwin pyramid there? That was pretty awesome. You know, physical, emotional, and chemical, you know, and ever since I've been messing with Josh, I mean, he's just like the little grasshopper, you know. Physically, you got to go out there and train. You got to bang, and you got to do what you got to do, okay? We talked a little bit about that. Physically, you got to get strong, but the big thing is overtraining, I think, is the number one problem with most fighters. You guys are overtraining, especially concussions and brain injuries. You got to pay attention to that. Emotionally, where your thoughts are. I mean, yeah, we just sitting here talking about, I met Josh at 3 in the morning about 7 years ago. Is way different than what he is now, and it's amazing where, you know, thoughts carry energy. You know, frequency is energy, and
I've got an awesome quote of Josh Berkman's. I got to tell you, we were sitting at Beto's one night, late at night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I've heard this.
And this toothless woman comes walking into Beto's and so I go, oh man, she's got no teeth. And Josh goes, well, it is late and dark.
The 2 a.m. rule, right? The 2 a.m.
rule. So Mike went and got her number.
Awesome. No, so back to Dr. Tim. All right. So emotionally, to get your head on right, and that's the most amazing thing I've seen with Josh is working with an athlete. I mean, the guy is he really focuses. He knows. He comes in a little banged up. The last thing he wanted me to tell him is, no, you're not flying to Brazil, but he swallowed it, you know, and I take my hat off to him to not fight. When you're trying to become the best and do, I think, the purpose he's on, you got to be 100%. And if you're not 100%, why even show up and do what you're going to do? You know what I mean?
You know what I was real happy with when Josh, you said, I got the news, and man, the first thing I want to do is go out and buy a big chocolate cake and eat it. And then he said, you know what? Then I just realized, hey man, that's not going to get me where I want to go.
Right.
And so, I mean, Josh took that. He's taken a lot of your advice. It's not just, you know, training. It's everything that goes around it.
Absolutely.
And I think too, one of the things that, he's helped me with more so because our fighting. I mean, I've had a broken hand, a dislocated thumb. I mean, a broken foot since I've been having Tim help me out, and I think the biggest thing is overcoming those injuries in life, in fighting, in whatever it is. Like your shoulder right now. How much does that sometimes drag you down and bring you down?
Yeah.
And, with Tim, I woke up. What was it? Wednesday. They pulled me from the fight. I woke up Thursday and I was bummed out, and I was just like, what am I going to do? And then I went and saw Tim, and it just got me back on the right track, And I think that's the biggest thing is, keeping your energy where it needs to go, keeping on that right track, and he's done that for me.
I've gotten flat out depressed over this injury, and I go into Tim's office, and he's so damn happy. It helps.
And that goes to people that are listening on the show is that who's in your corner. It doesn't have to be me, but you got to have a team, of people that you need to go to, because I always call it the chess match. What's pieces on your chessboard? And the more people you can put in there that you fit with, the better you're going to be in the long run. And so, you guys that are out there training, you've got to find someone that does some body work with you, and you got to get into this laser world of cold laser. Look it up on Google it. It's a fascinating science. It comes out of Lance Armstrong's camp. It is the way. I call it. Most people are stuck in the 80s. Most healing is 80s healing. Physical therapy, ultrasound, electrical stimulation.
Have they been able to fix his other testicle with that?
Josh, yeah, he's got 3. That's why he does so good.
No, Lance Armstrong.
Oh, I thought you said Josh. I'm not sure, whoever knows. That's awesome, Mike.
Well, once again, Tim, good stuff, and as always, we love having you come on the show. And I'd like to make this a weekly segment. I know, we've kind of been doing it every other week, but good stuff, and keep this guy on track.
No, don't worry about Josh. We're ready. We're ready.
All right, well, good stuff. Speaking of ready, we're getting ready to go down to see some fights tonight. There are some fights over at the Complex. Where's the Complex again? First
it
south,
is
fifth west?
Just west of Gateway. So
Okay.
if you just get right behind the Gateway Mall to the west, you'll find it.
It's the Steel Fist fights, and we've got a couple guys from UCTC fighting in it, and three guys from Mushin Self-Defense fighting in it. And you think your guys going to walk away with 3 victories tonight?
I do, man. I think
you got Sterling, you got Kyle Herrera, and Kensei Sato.
Yep.
Hey, is UCTC going to make the Ultimate Combat making a comeback?
Yes, it is.
Training
Absolutely.
center?
We're coming back. We got to
that.
cut. We got to go. We'll see you next week on Ultimate Combat Radio.